The University of Oregon is located in Eugene, a city of 80,000 people, situated in the lush Willamette River Valley, midway between Cascade Mountains and the Pacific Ocean.
Touchdown, Jonathan Stewart. Yeah, I got your speed right here.
Hey, ball corner 10, outside 5. Are you kidding me?
I'm really proud of where this team's at. We got a lot of work to do.
What's the deal, Duck family? I am Kenyon Bonner, alongside my boy Jay Stu, who is back in the building. Welcome back, my guy. Listen, we got one heck of a show in store for you. We're going to get into some spring ball. We're going to get into some draft. We got a lot going on in this episode, but first and foremost, to my guy, listen, welcome back, bro. I missed you. I absolutely missed you. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man. It's good to be back, you know?
Welcome back, bro. Yeah, welcome back.
Oh, okay. That boy upgraded. You got that new package. Huh?
Yeah, we hot over here. Welcome back, bro. How you been? What's been going on? Talk to us. What's been going on in Jay Stu's world?
And, just continue to, learn, grow, stretch myself. You know what I'm saying? The business world is forever altering. You just got to figure it out. Family's good. My daughter being good at soccer. She's showcasing that she's getting fast. And so she's asking me all the time, let's race. I got to make sure my hamstrings got to stay ready. So I'm training now. I understand when people say, yeah, man, I'm training just so that way when my kids get older, I'm ready.
Got to stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
To that part. What about you, man? You've been busy.
I had been shaking and moving, man. Was up in Eugene for about a month. The longest period of time I've been there since I left school. It was an absolute amazing experience, man. And before we go any further, I got to give a shout out to Dan. I got to give a shout out to Simp, Wadu, Nick, Jesse. The way that these dudes open these rooms up, open these doors up to me, especially Dan. He typically wouldn't allow people in because of the information that's being shared, the conversation that's being had. He trusts me in those spaces. And so that means the world to me. Simp opening up the RB room the way that he did, allowing me to give input, allowing me to help guys. He in the middle of me coaching guys up. Coach KB, you got anything? You know what I'm saying? Just allowing me access to pour into these guys the way that they did. And then even the players, man, the way that they received me. It was such a dope experience. I learned a lot. I went up there to learn and to prepare, obviously, for the stuff that I was doing with the Big Ten Network, doing the sideline reporting, which is another great experience. It was dope, bro. It was super dope. Quite an experience, and up close and personal. Got an up close and personal look at his team, a view of them. Got to see the different players, the new guys, the old guys. It was dope. It was dope, man.
That's awesome, dude. I saw the pictures, saw the video, saw some content. You did your thing. Well, speaking of spring ball, how we looking?
Man, I like what we have. We are young. We are very young, very young. I mean, you lose 35, 36 guys. Your team is going to be young. And so the biggest thing with this team that I see right now is the lack of leadership from a player standpoint. You have a couple of guys here and there. Betcher, obviously, working his way back in. You had Poncho, who was being vocal. That's probably the most vocal guy on the team right now is Poncho. He's trying to get the guys going, being that guy on the sideline, talking to the younger guys, encouraging his guys. But I'm interested to see as time continues to go on who will emerge as leaders. Dante is young. Novosad is young. Guys that are still trying to find their way. We got a lot of guys in, whether it be Bear, whether it be Isaiah World, whether it be Dylan Thieneman, all these different guys that have come in that's transferred in that probably will be guys. Everybody has to get comfortable. Yeah. That's what I've seen. Everybody has to get comfortable within their role before they want to step into that leadership role. I was talking to Bear actually, and I was like, you're going to be a guy on this team. I need you to be that guy. I need you to be a leader. I need you to step up, be vocal. And he told me, he was like, man, I'm trying to get myself right. I'm trying to figure myself out. I said, you can get yourself right, but at the same time, be a leader. As long as you're on time, doing what you're supposed to do, handling your business and striving to get better, you can still lead these guys. You don't have to wait till you got it all. I mean, that's kind of light, right?
Yeah.
Oftentimes we want to wait till we have it all together before we move on to do something else. But
we'll never have it all together, though.
A lot of these guys, they're quiet guys. They're the lead by example type guys, but you have to have some vocal dudes on that team to kind of rear everybody in, charge everybody up, get them going. That's the most interesting piece. You have you and it, you. This is what because a lot of people were asking me in Oregon, like, what do we look like? What do we look like? I was like, you can't judge this team off of spring ball because the way of everything was constructed. Everybody was mixed up. It wasn't starters on this team, the starters here, back. It wasn't any of that. It was everybody mixed together like a melting pot and going out and practices. So you couldn't judge the team. You can see the individual, but you couldn't see what this team will look like. I think you won't get that full picture until these guys get in the fall camp and work through that process and actually have the depth chart put out there, who the guys will be, the starters will be, and everybody getting a rhythm and a routine together.
What do you think about that process? Like, you know, is that you think that's typical as far as how they do spring ball, where they mix everybody up in the mix, where you're not gonna have your starter throwing to your starting receiver? You think that's a good game plan? Or you think that's a wait, see?
I think it's a game plan that's necessary for the day and age that we're living in right now with the portal. You can't put a depth chart out there because a guy may look at that depth chart and say, "Oh, I'm fourth on the depth chart. I'm out of here."
Yeah.
So I kind of, as coaches, it's not typical for us when we were in school. It was typical. You knew who your starters were. You knew who number one, number two, and number three were, and that's the rotation, and that's what you went with, and everybody kind of worked in here and there. But in this day and age, where it's the wild, wild west in a portal, where if a guy doesn't like his situation, I can just leave. I can't afford to put a depth chart out there and one, have a guy not give his full effort. Two, decide, okay, as soon as this portal date open up, I'm out of here, I'm leaving. So you kind of have to protect yourself as a coaching staff. You have to protect what you can. It's hard enough.
Puts a lot of pressure on the coaching staff too to make sure they get it right when it's time to go, right? Because spring ball is a huge portion of the identity and the process. And then now you're basically waiting until the next time these guys get together to really figure it out. And hopefully you're right.
You know who the guys are.
Yeah.
Like me playing a game and coming back, I know who the guys are. And I think anybody with eyes and anybody with common sense could kind of look in and see, okay, at the receiver.
Common sense ain't common, boy.
You know it ain't. It's not. It's really not. It's really not common. It's really not.
Now, but what you saying is we got the crew. We got the guys that are gonna make the common sense decision.
Absolutely. You see the guys that are in place. You see the guys that are making the plays. You see the guys that are standing out. A lot of these guys were never meant to fit in, or they were meant to stand out, and that's exactly what they do in these practices. You see the guys. I'm a yeah. You know who the guys will be. In other positions, some positions are solidified. Some positions, there's competition. But you know who the guys are going to be, and if you watch that spring game, you can kind of see.
Who surprised you the most?
I'm not gonna lie, Decorian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Decorian surprised me. It was a few. Tatum looks amazing.
Really?
Looks like a guy. Looks like the guy. Honestly, dude is a dog. Dude is a dog. The jump. I don't know what he looked like last spring. I know what he looked like during the season, but the guy that I seen in spring ball is better than the guy that played last season. He surprised me. And going back to Decorian, you come in with all this hype, and sometimes you don't live up to it. But then there's also that special exception where you surpass the hype that you came in with. Dude is different. Dude is absolutely different. He's one of them ones, too.
Yeah, I heard he was adjusting to the ball, all types of stuff.
Still, body control, explosive, making you miss, going up and making the play, got the swagger, got the mentality, he got it.
If you had to compare him to a player, NFL or college, in the last 10 years, who would it be?
I like Tank Dell.
Ooh.
I like Tank Dell. I like that. His explosiveness, his twitchiness, his playmaking ability. I like Tank Dell. If I'm looking at him play, I like Tank Dell. I like that a lot.
Okay.
I like that a lot.
I like him too then.
Trust me.
So how do we manage our expectations? If you were a fan, like we were, by the way, everyone listening, we're changing our mode here. Okay. Last year we were too fanish. We are alumni. and we are fans. But we was pumping it up too hard, and it was like, week in, week out,
You don't want to be there still?
holding on to our chairs.
You don't want to be there?
I don't want to be in that position anymore, man. Like, it's too much stress. Too much stress. So how do we manage our expectations? One of the ideas I had was, look,
Uh-huh.
I'm
Okay.
excited.
What-
I'm not happy yet.
You happy, but you're not excited.
Point blank. Happiness comes when you see things happen, right? And so I'm excited, man. I'm joyful, you know. But the end result is to be happy, especially when you're playing football. Winning games makes you happy. So how we gonna manage our expectation?
Don't have any.
Okay.
And that's my that and I'm not saying that in a negative way whatsoever. What I'm saying is that in life, you'll never truly enjoy you'll never truly be able to be where your feet are if you're operating in expectation. You won't be able to take it for what it is. You won't be able to enjoy it. You won't be able to see it for what it is if I come in with my own expectations of what it should be.
That sounds great.
I surprise myself sometimes still, but neither here nor there. Let's get back to it. Don't have any expectations. Let this team create the expectation for you. Let them come out, let them play, let them show you who they are, let them show you what they are, and go from there. Don't come in thinking, "Oh, we're national champs. This is our year." Let's not be Dallas Cowboy fans. Let's not do that. Let's not do that where
Yeah, let's not be Dallas, y'all.
no, let's not do that. Hang in there, go along for the ride, and I promise you'll enjoy the ride. You'll enjoy the highs, you'll enjoy the lows. Sometimes it may hurt, sometimes it won't. But don't have expectations of this team. Let this team come alive. Let this team show who they are. And we'll go from there.
Emotional roller coaster. Loving you ain't nothing help it.
But I wanna go back just a little bit and talk about some more guys that surprised me. I love Kingston. I love Sione. And I hope I'm saying Sione's name right. I believe that I am. You're talking about a dude at corner and a dude at safety coming up with Kingston. Kingston gonna hit you. Kingston gonna hit you. Iffy at corner.
I like that.
Stu. I'm not talking about when I look at a secondary, I think a secondary is truly made up. You have your safeties who you expect to come down and get in the run game. But when you have corners who can come down and lay that wood and intimidate you, willing and able and capable.
Willing and able.
Iffy is different. When I tell you Iffy hits like a Mack truck, it was a dude that came out to block him like on the tunnel screen. Stu.
He wasn't having it.
Stu. I told Chief, get him out of here. He's not good. He's not good. He's not okay. I don't care what he said. He's not okay. I'm talking about just he's gonna wake you up. I like Naeem. Alford. I think we got one in him. We definitely got one in him. I want to get down to this defensive line though. That's where I want to get.
Tell me about the Braden Pratt.
I like him.
He's a Washington kid.
We got some guys, bro. I'm gonna be real. Jamari, tight end that came in from Louisville, special playmaker. I'm talking about go up and get the ball, make the spectacular catches, all that. On that defensive line, Amari Washington still at D tackle,
What's he doing?
getting the job done.
Got good feet, got good hands.
Got good hands, got good feet, got a good motor. He is a dog. He is an absolute dog, an absolute monster. Like
Big.
all these dudes is big. Let's get that. Let's talk about that. I've been saying this since Lanning took over, that this team had been preparing for the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as I look at this team is not preparing for the Big Ten. This team is preparing for the SEC. This team is structured and built like a SEC team. When you look at these dudes, these aren't meant Isaiah World, as big as the world. Like these are grown men. These dudes are built different. It's crazy to me when I stand next to these dudes. I'm like, bro, you belong in the league right now, just off your stature.
You know, that's a good reputation to have too, because if you think about the Alabama like train that ended, you know, guys were wanting to go to Alabama because they were putting guys in the league, right? And so if you become known as the school, you know, with all this transfer portal stuff and guys coming in as the team where, look, I'm a big guy. I know I'm NFL ready. Oregon's where I want to go.
And they are. And they are. I mean, you look at I mean, this is going to take us into our next little subject, category that we're going to talk about. But when you look at how progressively this school has advanced in the draft, we have the most guys that we've ever had drafted this year. I had the opportunity to do draft night, and I got to listen to videos of scouts talking about Oregon. And when you hear these scouts talk, and we know as players, like a lot of it is based on analytics, what you look like, height, weight, and all that. When you listen to these scouts talk, they're not talking about Oregon as like a Pac-10 or a Big Ten. They're like, oh, they look like an SEC school. Like you can see Georgia identity. You can see Alabama. You can see that.
Hold on, we ain't just gonna roll over that.
Yeah.
Repeat that again. You said that these scouts, NFL scouts, are coming to the University of Oregon.
Yes,
They looking like SEC schools.
that's what scouts are saying out of their mouth.
That needs to be a quote. Everybody quote that. When you listen to it, that was quoted here.
When they talk about Oregon as having prototype guys for the league. Whether it's stature, size, speed, strength. When you look at these guys, these scouts are looking at them, okay, these are NFL ready guys. They're the body types. Everything about the league is about body type. It's about what you look like for the most part until you get on that field and perform. And so when these scouts are coming in, they're coming in the way that they're coming in because we have NFL body types. We have guys that look the part. And so they're coming in and checking them out. And that's what every scout was saying. It's SEC. It's SEC. They wasn't Big Ten. They were saying SEC. And so that kind of tells you. And again, going back to our draft class, we had 10 guys drafted, most ever. I mean, you had Ohio State, I think, had 16. Ohio State has 16. I think Texas had 14 or 12. There was one other school, and then us with 10. We've never been in that category. And that can tell you that you can see the shift happening. Not only do we have the body types, but we actually have the players with the talent. That's what's coming out of Oregon now. Dan and this coaching staff is building NFL-ready players. So this Oregon is now being looked at as a school, not just for the flash, not for the glitz and glamour, for the style of play, but now looked at as a school that I can go here and I can get to the league. Scouts are coming here. When I went to the Maryland game last year, I talked to a scout from the Green Bay Packers. Last year alone, he was like, yeah, you guys have 22 prospects on this team. I said, what? There's 22 NFL prospects that we're looking at right now. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely mind-blowing. It's a beautiful thing. And I'm extremely happy that we're finally making that turn, because I think that was our struggle back when I was in school. We could never hang in the trenches because of the body types, because of the size and the strength. That's where we lost games. We didn't have guys drafted like that from the trenches. You know, you have your one-off, you'd have your Kyle Long, you'd have your Haloti Ngata, you know, you'd have your one-offs like that, Eric Armstead, DeForest Buckner. But now you look, it's all across the board. It's coming out. You know, speaking of the draft, you know, shout out to Derek Harmon. My heart goes out to Derek Harmon. It's heartbreaking what he had to experience, the highest of highs, to all of a sudden experience the lowest of lows. You know, to have the happiest day of his life in turn into his worst nightmare. I can't imagine what he had to go through, the emotions that he felt.
Devastated.
It's yeah, I'm gonna leave that one alone because I'm about to get emotional, because it make me think about my mom, for real. But you had Derek Harmon go round 1, pick 21. Josh Connerly followed it up, round 1, pick 29 to the Commanders. T. Ferg, we talked about this. I don't think anybody ended up in a better situation than T. Ferg. T. Ferg went round 2, pick 46 to the Los Angeles Rams. What you think about that pick?
Man, look, he's gonna thrive because he's gonna be in a room with Devontae Adams,
Dog.
or not in the room, but like the meeting room, right? Um, Devontae Adams and Puka, right? But those are guys. But then he has a tight end in Higbee who absolutely has done this before. So he's gonna be around guys that's gonna teach him how to be a pro immediately. And so you talk about a guy that's lined up outside, lined up in the slot, lined up on the end there. McVay's gonna be able to have his way. And if I'm a running back, dial up 12 personnel, please. Dial that up because play action is our best tool right now. Um, so I'm excited for him. He should have at least 30 catches this year. Uh, just the way they run their offense and what they were missing last year. Higbee went down at some point during the season, and that's where they kind of like fell out of their graces as far as being competitive. And so, um, as you know, your running game is only as good as the other part of the game.
Absolutely.
So if you have pieces falling apart and you start becoming, um, you know, understood as an offense, like you start being predictable, um, it makes things very hard for a run game. So I imagine them picking him. Higbee's getting closer to the end of his contract, so they got him for a purpose. So he gonna be there for a while.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know who T. Ferg puts me in the mindset of? Zach Ertz. Can make the big play again. Not the fastest guy. Yeah, not the fastest guy, but a guy that's gonna get yards. Reliable.
I will say though, T. Ferg ran the fastest 40 time
He did.
and
He
for a
did.
tight end.
He did.
Yeah, so they got themselves a guy that can stretch
Absolutely.
the field if you stay on
Yeah.
his feet.
Jumping back in there, Jordan Birch, round 3, pick 78 to the Cardinals. Jamari Caldwell, round 3 to the Chargers. Dylan Gabriel, round 3 to the Browns. Jordan James, which again, one of my favorite picks, to the 49ers in round 5. Jeffrey Bossa, Kansas City in round 5. Johnny Cornelius, round 6. I hope I said your name, bro. I hope I said it right. I hate messing people's name up. And finally, Tej Johnson, round 7 to Tampa Bay, which I think is another great pick for them as well.
So Jeffrey Boston might have a Super Bowl ring next year, huh?
Right. First year in. First year in might have a ring on his hand.
That's what I'd be looking at. I'd
Yeah.
be looking at where these guys be
Yeah.
going. Like,
Yeah.
okay, oh, okay, he might get you a
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
Like, you got a
Yeah,
high
cute.
probability. Here's what we do know. He gonna be in the playoffs. We do know that. We do
Oh
know
yeah,
that. We
playoff
do know
check.
that.
Playoff check. Tell your agent to make your incentives based on the
Yes, because
playoffs.
you are on a playoff contender. Okay, that's what people need to. Young
Mhm.
guys, everybody really. Um, Structure your contract based off of the type of team that you're on. Know what your team is capable of. Know who your quarterback is.
Yeah.
Know the situation that you're going in. And if you know your situation, you know your quarterback. Not only that, but almost as equally as important as your quarterback, your head coach. You know what you have and all of that.
Yeah.
Structure your contract right. Go get your money. Go get your bag.
Yeah, before we get out of here, the one thing I want to say is, in the words of Gerald McCoy. Yeah, I was listening to him the other day, and he has said something along the lines of, "Now, so what? Now what?" And I love that because you got drafted first round. So what? You got drafted in the sixth round. So what? Now what? Now what means you got to go and work regardless. Every single day, you got to prove to them that they can trust you. Period. Point blank. And when I say them, that's the owner, that's the GM, that's the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, special teams, your position coach, your teammates, the training staff, the people that feed you, the security guards, and most importantly, the fans. So you have to earn that every single day. And so don't ever think that you can slide away from that. 'Cause the moment you think that, that's when you got to retire.
The object is to get there. It's hard enough getting to the NFL. It's even harder to stay there. The work really begins now. So to you guys again, good luck. And before we close out, I want to dedicate this episode to Derek Harmon and Miss Tiffany, his mother. Our prayers, our thoughts, our hearts go out to you, bro. We are with you every single step of the way. You always got a family here at Oregon. Can imagine what you're dealing with and the heaviness that you have to go through this process with, knowing that your mother won't be there. But know that you are valued, know that you are seen, and know that everybody is praying for you and everybody that is wishing you well. And with that being said, Jay Stu,
Yes, sir.
that's all we got time for, baby. I love you.
Love you too.
And as always, remember, ducks of a feather flock together, and we out.